Okay, now we're going to talk about all the related restricted access issues. Okay, so there's a lot of possibilities, a lot of different ways that I explored when creating the site. And I know that you guys are going to be a bit overwhelmed during the transition, so I went with the one solution that's going to be the least amount of work initially. We can transition to something more advanced later, but here's what I've done. I've left a login and a register, but they're not going to be really necessary initially. So if you press the login, you'll see if you enter one of the other logins like George Shelley's, which I use for testing purposes, it doesn't work because he isn't entered in the Joomla administration area. When you go into site users user manager, I've just got a few set up, and the only one that really need at this point is the admin, and again the password will be in the email. The board's not even going to be using this one at this point, and the other ones are just for just for myself and for my testing purposes. So that's the only one you need, is the admin. So in order to take advantage of Joomla's very sophisticated registration functions, etc., you probably need to manually add each one of your cPanel username and passwords to this area. So basically it would be like pressing new here, putting in George Shelley's name, okay, giving him his username, which in other words it can be the same as before, George Shelley, okay, and then his previous password, put his email address in, and giving him the registered status. However, there's even a more sophisticated way, pressing cancel, because I installed software called Community Builder, and it's designed perfectly for voca Online. I've used it before for several websites. Very powerful, very cool. You can see it has the basic information here, but the difference is you have the option to add whatever fields that you want. So let's just add a new field. For example, let's say we wanted to keep track of a person's address. So let's call this a text field, and let's call this address. Okay, this is the database name for it, and this is the actual, this is what people will see. And basically that's all you need to do. Make it a required. If someone was to be registered and you wanted to have everyone's address, then you would make it yes. If you wanted other people to register that that are not part of, that are outside the area, then you could make it no. Show in profile, in this case you would want it to be yes, because they would be able to say if they were to move or something within the area, within, Anyway, so there's all these contingencies, like show at registration, yes. Published, yes. You can make some of these fields like even hidden. You could make it say like complaints from neighbors, where only you could see it, but they can't. So you could keep a database of everything on this website in this database, and you could set it up so they could edit certain fields, and you could edit, but they can't see, etc., etc. So the sky's the limit. Whatever field or possibilities, they would, it's really up to you. Now, in the registration part here, I'm just going to leave this up for now. So right now we just have first name, last name, email address, username, password. Now if you were to enter the other usernames and passwords, they wouldn't need to fill this in. In fact, you might want to take this registration out completely, and only you are allowed to register. And that might be a good scenario in your case, so that they can only log in, but they can't register. That way you keep it closed to people in your association. But they could log in, and they could, make changes to their address, or if you don't want them to make changes to their address, if that's something you need to control, that would be fine. So you can see this is something you may want to migrate to down the road. But initially we'll probably just turn off these options, and I'm just going to show you how to do that. You just go to Menus, Main Menu, and all you do is you just scroll down here and you just press this little green button here and this little green button here, and I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to go back here and I'm going to just click on here, for example, and then I'm going to go back here, and you can see that the register and the login are now gone. But I'm going to go back and turn it on. Don't delete it, just turn it off, because it would be less work for me later on. But there you go. That's how you turn something off and on, just by pressing these little green icons. Okay, so how did we handle the registration or the restricted area now? Simply put, all we do is go down to here, registered access, and I've got this George's already entered. So basically it's the same as before. They simply enter their username and their password. Okay, and there it is as before. And the PDFs. Now you got to remember that each browser will view the PDFs differently. Some will show it in this area, some will download it. So someone says they can't find their PDF when they download it, and that's just the settings of their browser. So if you haven't had any complaints up to now, you shouldn't have any. So in other words, whoever's using their browser, they already know how their browser is handling the PDFs, whether it downloads them, displays them, etc. Okay, and the way you edit this page, unfortunately, initially at least, is not in this new cool article manager. We have to use the old cPanel editor, at least just for now. So you'll see when you go here, restricted access site, you'll see the pages here, and it looks the same, and it is the same, but it won't, changes you make to it won't show up, because initially we have to use the same cPanel one. So I'm going to close this, and I'm going to unpublish it, just so you won't get confused and say, oh, I made some changes and they're not showing up. So I'm going to press save and close, and when you go back here now, you'll see it's unpublished. Okay, so I think that's all the registration there. I'm sure there's more details. Let me just think I can think of them. Oh yes, on the right side of this page, and I think there was one other page, but there's no right. Oh, I know, the calendar of events. That's right. There's only 2 pages in which it's best that you have the full width of this page. So the way to turn those options off and on in terms of what pages show the right menu is you go to Extensions, Module Manager, and you just click on the right menu here, and you just uncheck the pages in which you do not want the right menu to show up. So you can see calendar events and restricted access. Everything else has it, so you just unclick one of those and then just press save or save and close. So I'm going to leave that there, or I'm just going to go ahead and press close. Close means nothing is saved. So just remember, Extensions, Module Manager, and these are the only modules. There's the footer, login, which isn't being used right now, mission statement. I'm not sure what's in the mission statement. Let's just take a quick look. Can't remember. Mission statement. Okay, there we go. So where is that on the website? I think it's near the bottom. There we go. So this is a module. Okay, so module, everything in Joomla, is either in a main article position. Let's just give you a quick tutorial here. Whoops. Right now, when you press the home button, it goes to the old site. You have to type in manually index.php in order to get to the new home page until we get rid of the new site or the old site. So as soon as you're comfortable, let me know. Send me an email and I will turn off the old site. So if you, as soon as you have this functioning as good or better than your old site and you feel comfortable, send me an email. I'll turn off the old site. So when you press the home button, it'll go to this page rather than the old site. So concepts of what Joomla is: there's main article on every page, and then there's modules. Here's a module on the right, module here, module here. Sometimes the slideshow can be a module. In this case it's not, because it's not really a slideshow, but if we were to create a slideshow, this would become a module. Or it could be a component. That's a slight difference, but just it's not part of an article. That's the main thing. And the menus are usually modules as well. So let's just take a look at the contact us form. Okay, we're at 11 minutes. We'll finish up here. This all works, and the place to edit this is, I believe there's a lot of different ways to do it, but I believe the way we chose was the contact us, maybe, I'm not even sure which. No, I think we chose the Proforms one. Yeah, here we go. So here's the email that it's going to. That's the subject. And I'm going to press cancel, and I'm going to show you where to edit the fields. I'm going to click on templates and contact voca, and I'm going to press proceed up in the top right, and here's all the fields. So if you wanted to add more fields, more buttons, etc., etc. This is a little technical, so I wouldn't try and do this unless you really enjoy this stuff. In other words, you may want to let us do this initially, and then maybe in 3 or 6 months, when your head's really into Joomla, then you could tackle this. But I'm just showing you where everything is initially, and those red stars mean it's a required field. But let's just say you wanted to make a small change to, say, the first name. You just click on here and say you wanted to put a colon after it. You just put a colon in there. So that's, this is just an overview. So let's just close out of here, and I'm going to press cancel, and I'm going to turn off this tutorial. Let's just see if there's anything else basic. I'm trying to keep everything in 15-minute chunks. Calendar event, member staff. So these are again all articles. Okay. Register. Okay, I'm going to leave it here for now, and just send me an email or give me a call, and I'll give you a custom tutorial on any other aspect of the site that you don't get, and just let me know.